Alright folks, but you guys idiot, we are back playing Criminal Case on Facebook, Mysteries of the Past. Let's head on to case number 2. Am I okay? I am definitely okay, but it was Thanksgiving in the States, so I spent some time with family Thursday through Sunday, so I wasn't able to record. Ace, fire is spreading throughout the city. The Concordia flying squad has been called on to help evacuation efforts. Chief Wright wants you and Mr. Isaac Bontemps to go to Monk Street as a senior investigator. I'm sure Bontemps will be a valuable partner. Well, duty calls, Senior Trooper Ace. Although I do so dread getting soot on my clothes, let us head to Monk Street. Nice. Oh. Is there going to be someone here that I may know? Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, snap. Already? Oh, poor girl. She just came over. Umbrella. Wow. That's super unfortunate. Wow, this fire is raging out of control, but it seems everyone has evacuated already, thank goodness. We'll accept this poor creature. We'll have to evacuate her to the morgue. Will you recognize her from your first investigation, Ace? Ah, so the poor girl was an immigrant called Harriet Patrick. But you're right, she was not killed by the fire. These are stab wounds. This is murder. So you're saying this handkerchief belongs to the victim? Well, it appears to have been stepped on. Who could have been so callous? Excellent point. It must have been the killer. Perhaps you could dust this cloth and see what they left behind. I believe you had met Miss Patrick's cousin. By all means, we should go inform her of Harriet's passing. The street's already evacuated. There's nothing stopping us from getting on the trail of this nefarious killer. She doesn't seem as happy. But anyways, guys, I gotta grab a whole bunch of stars. I will see you back here. I'm Pitching Ace 88. Au revoir. Alright guys, Pitching Ace 88, we are back. What a crazy turn of events. Well, Miss Patrick, I'm afraid we have some very bad news for you. Your cousin Harriet was found murdered. Murdered? I can't believe it. This is horrible. Oh, her cat will be beside herself. If I could find the beast, that is. Well, that is of minor concern to us, Miss Patrick. Can you tell us if Harriet had any enemies? Well, she'd only just arrived, you see, but she told me she'd met with some rich fellow for a job as a maid. Well, what was that person's name? Oscar, something with a T. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Well, very well now, Miss Patrick, and I enjoin you to go to safety. Fires are unpredictable, and no street is safe. Well, Ace, we ought to visit the house Mary Patrick mentioned. We could learn more. How do I know which house? You're clearly a new arrival to Concordia. Oscar something that begins with a T is the one and only Oscar Trefusis. He's a well-known scholar and one of the richest men in Concordia. Let us request an interview. Mr. Trefusis, my name is Isaac Bontemps of the Concordia Flying Squad, and this is Senior Trooper Ace. We're investigating the murder of a certain Harriet Patrick. Where on earth is my butler? First I have to lower myself to open my own door, and now you believe I am somehow the sort of personage who would be involved in a murder? Well, her next of kin told us she had applied for a position as a maid. Do you remember meeting her? Harriet Patrick. Well, not ringing a bell. Mr. Trefusis, we know she was here, and we must inspect the premises. If you must. It shan't be said that I refuse to assist the forces of order. Do have a look around. shoe print. You were able to uncover a shoe print from the victim's handkerchief. Capital find. Let us take the shoe print to Viola Pemberton post haste. Lobster horse. Time attack trial, helping me out big time. That'd be an interesting idea. Was there anything of note pertaining to our investigation? Ace, this glove must belong to the butler Mr. Trefusis mentioned earlier. The glove simply looks dirty to me, but by all means, collect a sample of that brown substance if you believe it may aid our investigation. I think it'd be good, but I really like, I think they've gone the route of being more worldly. I mean, with World Edition and this, you know, they're doing a little bit more, but they're encompassing everyone, because there's people all over the world that play this game. I want to say there's like 20+ million that play this game. It's a lot, and they're all over. They're not just from the US. I suppose we should return to the airship to put the substance you collected from Mr. Trefusis' butler's glove under the microscope, Ace. Wonder if it's going to have the same composition of where fire took place. The sample you collected from the butler's glove turned out to be cow dung. Oh, how distasteful. But how very astute of you, Ace. If Mr. Trefusis' butler ended up with the cow dung on his glove, it means we can finally prove Harriet visited the house. I should very much like to see how Mr. Trefusis reacts when we present him with solid evidence that Harriet was there. And you make a valid point, Ace. We should also have a talk with his butler. Mr. Trefusis, earlier you claimed not to know of Harriet Patrick, but we have since found evidence that she met your butler. I presume she was subsequently involved to make your acquaintance. Oh, you mean that dreadful Irish girl. I'm glad your memory has been refreshed. We understand Miss Patrick came to your home seeking employment as a maid. What? Me? Hire an Irish person? Are you mad? The girl even had the audacity to turn up with a cow. A cow on my premises. Oh, I see you're among those who have little love for the Irish. Well, of course, someone like you would be fine with these Irish people flooding into Concordia. I would remind you, sir, that you are conversing with the agent of the Concordian flying squad, and you should mind how you speak. I have had enough. You will kindly vacate the premises immediately, Sr. Brace. I promise to assist you both, and I have. Good day. Well, happy to oblige, but understand that we may return with more questions should the investigation require it. He seems like an unhappy individual. Hey, Mr. Colin James, we are glad to see you have returned. You are currently in the employment of Oscar Trefusis, are you not? Most certainly. I am his butler. Well, do you remember a certain Harriet Patrick coming to the house? We found your glove. Do I? Well, the nerve of some people coming to this house fairly well expecting a position. I only spoke to that woman long enough to send her away from this place. And why on earth would you care about her when there's a fire destroying the city? We care, Mr. James, because the young woman was murdered, and your lack of respect towards her person makes you a suspect. Something tells me They were in a relationship. Just gonna throw it out there. Oh, hello, Ace. I see you've met Isaac. Has he challenged you to a game of chess yet? I must warn you, he's a tireless opponent. He'll happily play you for hours upon hours. Well, not unlike your capacity to quote literature for hours on end, Viola. I believe I can now recite the entire works of Marie Corelli off by heart thanks to you. Well, then I believe it's a job well done. But back to business. The shoe print you found on the victim's handkerchief was incomplete, so I'm not going to tell you anything about the killer's shoe size. But I can tell you the shoe print did tell me that they were wearing Wellington boots. It's interesting, actually. The boots are almost identical to those worn by the Duke of Wellington, hence their name. But unlike the Duke's boots, the latest models have vulcanized rubber soles. And the killer was wearing the newer model of the Wellington boot. I take it. Well, Ace, they had better watch their step, hadn't they? Nice. Well, here you have already become acquainted with Richard, our esteemed colleague. He's a man of great scientific knowledge. And you're one of the very few who truly appreciate it, Isaac. Now, about your victim. You could see for yourselves that she was stabbed. And at first, the mind turns to a mugging. Someone could have taken advantage of the chaos. But muggers usually only threaten to stab someone. They don't stay and knife someone 13 times. Wait, 13 times? How dreadful. Yeah, multiple stabbings tend to be crimes of passion. The killer was very angry. I had determined from her bruises that the killer pulled Miss Patrick, grabbing her shoulder to keep her in place while stabbing her. In doing so, the killer proved to be less than intelligent, for I discovered traces of rosin on the victim. And rosin is a combination of pine and larch resin applied to the bow of a fiddle. Well, you were able to determine that from a small sample of the victim. Well, Ace, isn't it astounding what modern science is achieving? So the killer plays the fiddle. Well, this person has gotten themselves into quite a lot of trouble now. Ace, the fire is spreading. Is everyone safe? Well, Harriet Patrick certainly isn't. She's been stabbed to death. Harriet Patrick was murdered? How dreadful. To think we just reunited her with her cousin, Mary Patrick. Yes, the victim's cousin has provided us with helpful information, and I do hope that the news of her relative's passing hasn't been too much of a shock for her. And it would appear that Harriet's potential employer, Oscar Trefusis, was staunchly anti-Irish. Hey Ace, the victim's last name was Patrick, is that correct? Miss Patrick is being attacked at the market as we speak. Oh, brother. Alright guys, well I'll see you guys in chapter 2. It's been Pitching Case 88. Over and out.